One of the most common ways people dismiss an idea is by saying it is just a coincidence. But how do we really know when something is only a coincidence? Even scientists have struggled with this question. When you imagine a scientist, you might picture a calm, logical thinker, guided only by facts and observation. Yet even they can sometimes reject ideas that do not fit what they already believe. Imagine the first time you saw an image of the Earth. You may have noticed how the continents seem to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. They look that way because long ago they truly were connected. There was once a single giant landmass known as Pangaea that existed hundreds of millions of years ago. Over time, the pieces of that massive continent broke apart and drifted away to form the world we know today. This idea is called continental drift. It feels obvious now, but there was a time when almost no one believed it. In the early 1900s, most scientists rejected the thought that continents could move. Some even claimed that huge bridges of land must have once connected the continents and somehow vanished without a trace. A German geophysicist named Alfred Wegener saw things differently. He noticed how the coasts of Africa and South America seemed to match perfectly, almost like two puzzle pieces that had once been joined. He decided to test this idea by studying the rocks and fossils along those coasts. To his surprise, he found that they were nearly identical. In 1912, he published his findings and presented the theory of continental drift. You might think other scientists would have been thrilled by such powerful evidence. Instead, most of them dismissed his work. They called it a coincidence. The idea challenged their view of the world so deeply that many felt threatened by it. The resistance grew so strong that the American Association of Petroleum Geologists held an entire meeting for the purpose of discrediting Wegener's theory. Imagine that, a gathering of scientists rejecting an idea not because it lacked evidence, but because it made them uncomfortable. Even though the signs were clear, even though a child could see that the continents fit together, it took almost 40 years before attitudes began to shift. Only in the 1950s did the scientific community begin to accept continental drift as real. It turned out that the matching coastlines of South America and Africa were no coincidence at all. This story is only one example among many in the history of science. It reminds us to be cautious when we hear experts dismiss something as just coincidence. A Nobel Prize-winning physicist once said that coincidence is what remains after you have used a bad theory. And the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once described truth as passing through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as self-evident. This should make us careful before we dismiss anything too quickly. It might also change the way we look at coincidences in our everyday lives. Consider the remarkable story of a man named Paul Gracan. Paul had recently started seeing a woman named Esther, and he was thinking of asking her to be his girlfriend. One day he was standing in a deli paying for his lunch when he noticed a dollar bill with the name Esther written on it. It struck him as strange. He was thinking about her at that very moment, and for some reason he decided not to spend the bill. Instead, he took it home. Later, he framed it as a light-hearted gift and gave it to Esther on the same day he planned to ask her to make their relationship official. When Esther unwrapped the frame, she did not laugh. She looked stunned and silent. Paul noticed her confusion and asked if something was wrong. She smiled softly and said everything was fine. She accepted his request and they began dating. 2 years later, they were married. When they moved into their new home, Paul noticed the framed dollar bill again and asked why she had kept it. That was when she finally told him the truth. Years earlier, when Esther was 19, she had gone through a painful breakup. Feeling hopeless about love, she decided to leave her fate to the universe. She wrote her name on 10 $1 bills and said to herself, "If true love exists, one of these bills will someday find its way to the man I am meant to marry." So when Paul handed her the dollar with her own name written on it, she instantly knew he was the one. She did not reveal the story at first because it felt too sacred, too soon to share. But time proved it right. As of today, Paul and Esther have been married for more than 19 years and have 3 children together. Stories like this invite us to think about the mystery of synchronicity. The writer Greg Lavoie once said that when you are on the right path, the universe gives you small signs to let you know. Once you start noticing them, they appear everywhere. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity. He explained that events can be connected not only by cause and effect, but also by meaning. Synchronicity happens when a meaningful connection links an inner thought with an outer event. It can happen when you think of someone and soon after you meet them, or hear their name. It is what happened when Paul thought of Esther, and then saw her name on that dollar bill. Jung believed that life is not random but part of a deeper order he called the One World. He suggested that all things in the universe are woven into a single network of connection, giving us a sense of unity. To him, synchronicity was like a dream. It guides our awareness toward a greater spiritual understanding. Jung did not deny that coincidences can happen, but he said that sometimes the link between two events is so meaningful and so unlikely that we should not ignore it. When we experience such moments, we should pay attention. Think of dreaming about someone and then seeing that same person the next day. It is worth asking why that moment appeared in your life and what it might be trying to show you. This idea leads to something even deeper. Because if you think about it, our entire universe and the existence of life itself can be seen as one enormous coincidence. Many scientists have noticed how the laws of physics seem perfectly balanced to allow life to exist. The constants of nature, such as the speed of light or the strength of gravity, appear to be tuned with astonishing precision. If even one of those numbers were slightly different, stars and planets might never have formed. The universe could have collapsed or remained lifeless. Is that really just chance? This question has inspired the idea of a fine-tuned universe, suggesting that everything we see might be aligned in a precise and purposeful way. And if we look even closer, we find another layer of synchronicity, one that involves numbers themselves. In the study of numerology, it is believed that when certain numbers keep appearing in your life over and over again, it is not random. These numbers are messages, similar to recurring dreams that arise from the subconscious. They are sometimes called angel numbers, subtle signals pointing toward opportunities and meaning already surrounding you. Paying attention to them can help you understand the direction of your life. Perhaps one day you will notice such a moment and wonder if it too is more than coincidence. Maybe it is the universe giving you a gentle sign that you are exactly where you are meant to be.